So this is sprint 6. Originally the sprint was supposed to be set 4-week long sprint, but we decided instead it'd be better to do two week long sprints. So this whole first sprint mostly just researching and restructuring, making sure everything's ready for the implementing sprint, which is next sprint. So we have 2 user stories. Our first one is, as a user, I want to see the expected capacity of a parking lot at a future time. So mostly what this entails is our whole predictive algorithm, which is the main part of our app and what we've mostly been working on for a little bit. So all the tasks that we're doing right now for is mostly just putting the finishing touches on it and restructuring it just to make sure it's ready for our next sprint, which is implementing it. So the 2 tasks we have are finishing and restructuring setting up algorithm class, as well as integrate algorithm into proper module within an application. So just I can't show you the code for that, obviously. So what I can do, we did instead is just a simple diagram, just to explain mostly what we did. So this was our predictive algorithm before, and then what we actually did was we split it up into 3 things. So we still had the predictive algorithm with the estimation calculation. Then we separated linear regression and then also separated exponential regression, just to restructure and refactor and make it a little more clean. Our next user story is, as a user, I want to use voice commands with the app to keep my hands free while driving. So this mostly entails we don't want the user looking at their phone or using the app while they're driving to their destination. So we're trying to do a hands-free experience by having the app either voice questions to the user and have the user be able to answer yes or no, and have so it's a more hands-free experience. So the reason we were going to do this sprint 4 weeks in the first place is because none of us were really sure how long voice commands would take. We never dealt with this before, so that's why this sprint kind of turned into a heavy research sprint. So these are our research tasks. So research how to trigger voice commands to respond to a user's voice, research how to read voice from a phone at a software level, and then research how to get the application to voice a question. So I'll just show you our research for that. So this is just the trigger voice commands, a little step-by-step. And then this is for taking in voice commands, so how to take it in and all of that. And then to research how to read voice command from a software level, we actually did a demo. So this is a whole demo that we came up just for voice commands and just a practice and see what it's like, just to get the understanding of voice commands. And then we have our next couple of tasks, which are all mostly doing the first steps of implementing voice command, because it will be fully implemented next sprint. So it goes. So we had to decide what import and dependencies we needed for voice command. We added a microphone button to enable voice interface, and create code for only reading in a voice, as well as searching using voice commands. So just to show you a quick demo of that. So this is what the app looks like. So mostly we can't fully show the full functionality because part of it is, say you're driving and as you get closer something changes with your destination or something changes with the parking facility. That's when the app would then ask, oh, is it okay if we switch your parking facility, and you reply yes or no. We also have this microphone button, which would then either the app would talk to you or you voice into the app your answer. And right now it's through an emulator, so you can't hear me because it doesn't have a mic set up. So that's mostly what it will look like. And then we have just kind of the background of it. So we have set up for application to voice questions to users. So I can show you just a little bit of that code. So this is the app to the user. So the application will avoid the appropriate question to the user, and this is mostly how we're going to be implementing it. And then fixing the search button. So for that I can't demonstrate either because but we did fix it. So what we figured out was we have to pay. You have to pay to use this function with Google. So our sponsor is going to be setting up their credit card, and once they set it up, we'll be able to fully use our search. So if you want to type in your destination, it'll be fully able to work. And then also we have import which questions the application will ask. So I can show you that. So these are just mostly just as simple as the JSON file, just mostly what questions the application would ask the user, so do you want to choose an alternate facility? Are you sure? And all the other questions or scenarios we'd have with the app talking to the user. And then that is it for our Sprint 6. So like I said, this is mostly us just researching and mostly setting up for our next sprint, which will fully be implementing voice command as well as the algorithm.